Hello, everyone. It's really wonderful to be here. Thanks a lot for the invitation and the opportunity. This is going to be a slightly different talk than all the previous talks because I'm not going to talk about results, but I'm going to talk about future plans. I mostly wanted to present this because I'm not really well connected to the field of digital humanities in this region. And with the new funding that I will talk about, there's quite a lot of opportunity for us to collaborate in the future. So that's my main motivation and my invitation to everyone interested in collaboration. Please get in touch. The background of the whole initiative was that we have realized, I come from the corpus linguistics and NLP community, and we realized that we are really well covered in terms of language resources and technologies for contemporary Slovene, especially written text. For anything historical, non-canonical, such as dialects, anything that involves historical records, dialectal speech, or multimedia content, we are not at all well prepared. So we took up the opportunity for national funding from the research agency for a new research program, which is funded for 6 years, and we were successful in getting the funding. So this is the first research program that is focusing on digital humanities alone. So we want to overcome 3 main problems that we have identified, which is that, as surprising as it seems, we're still not very satisfied with where we are right now in terms of digitization of cultural heritage. We're still below European average. And the little digitalization work that has been performed in digital humanities collections, we find it's highly fragmented, it's restricted to very specific collections, and in between the collections, they're largely incompatible. This means that the requirements of supporting state-of-the-art data-driven DH research in different modalities for Slovenian context has not yet been met. And this research program tries to address and solve all these 3 problems. We would like to contribute novel methods as well as technologies to support not just digitization of DH research data and cultural heritage, but also analysis and methodologies. We find this important because the vast collections and archives that we have can have an important contribution to a more comprehensive understanding of the past and present cultural phenomena in the European context, which is always important. We have 3 big objectives. We want to focus on the development of methods for creating complex digital editions. We want to develop methods for enriching the collections that we will compile, as well as develop mixed methods for the analysis of DH data. In terms of digital editions, we would like to be able to support processing of complex text documents. We would like to be able to better support processing of oral history collections, as well as images. In terms of methods for enrichment of the DH collections, we would like to test and improve NLP methods for both written and spoken collections, as well as multilingual collections, because of a lot of the documents of the past, due to the socio-political context in Slovenia, are not just written in Slovene, but in multiple languages, predominantly German, Italian, Hungarian, and then Serbo-Croatian later on. We also want to contribute to methods of for text enrichment of these collections, like named entity, sentiment annotation, etc., etc. In terms of analytical tools, we would like to support network analysis, geospatial analysis, and temporal analysis of the data. I now don't know if you can see the next section. So we propose to focus in the next 6 years on 5 different text types: historical periodical, instructional books, historical legal texts, parliamentary proceedings, and oral history interviews. I've put a few characteristics of each of these text types in the columns, and I don't want to go through the time periods right now because this is more of a local importance, but I would just like to highlight the type of data that they contain, which is all basically text, images, spreadsheets, complex tables, as well as speech. Each of these text types come with a particular set of challenges. For example, parliamentary proceedings that we are focusing on right now, they contain incredibly complex metadata about the parliamentary sessions as well as the speakers. This is already quite a handful for contemporary parliamentary debates, but it's even more complicated for historical ones because it's harder to collect metadata about the speakers from 100 or more years ago. They also have a very complex structure. They also contain multilingual texts because, for example, in the regional parliament of Carniola region, they had members of parliament, about 50 of them, who were delegates for about 6 years. But depending on their background and preference, they would either speak in Slovene or German. So it was a fully bilingual culture at the time, and you would not be able to pick or decide in advance, but it just spontaneously switched between one and the other language. And this is also the case then in the transcriptions. With any supporting documentation, sometimes it's done in parallel for both languages, sometimes it's just one of the 2 languages. And to complicate matters further, German was for a period typeset in Gothic script and later on switched to Latin. And this type of resource is also interesting and even more complicated by the fact that it has links to outside sources, for example, bill proposals or supporting documentation outside the transcriptions themselves. The research program is offering to work or offer the complete research cycle, so not just to develop the text collections, but to then also evaluate how the methods to develop the text collections are performing, and if needed, then go back to the drawing board and improve them. And when we are relatively happy with what we have, then we want to apply the contemporary state-of-the-art research methods for interdisciplinary, both quantitative and qualitative methods to analyze the materials. We then want to publish as much as possible open source digital editions that we have produced, but also make them available for other researchers, both in user-friendly concordancers and similar analytical tools, but also as complete DEI XML documents. That's it in short. I'm very open to all the questions and comments, and as said, I'm also very open to future collaboration. For example, Slovenia and Croatia have now joint research project proposals, so we can try and propose new research projects together. We can also collaborate in less formal ways. It's not far to Ljubljana, so you can always come for a visit and we can have a research exchange, but you're also very welcome. We have a similar conference series as this one here today every 2 years. It's called DIHUR, Jezikovne tehnologije in Digital Humanities Heritage. Welcome.